Abolish. To officially put an end to a system, practice, or law. Eliminate. Eradicate. Terminate. Repeal. Should old laws that no longer fit society be abolished? Absolutely. Outdated laws should be abolished because they may no longer serve modern needs. For instance, eliminating discriminatory practices is vital for social progress. Governments should eradicate rules that hinder equality and terminate policies that are obsolete. Repealing these helps pave the way for a just society. Adamant. Refusing to change one's mind. Firm in one's decision. Stubborn. Resolute. Unyielding. Inflexible. Do you think being adamant is a good or bad quality? It depends on context. Being adamant can be admirable when someone is resolute about their principles. For example, a person might remain unyielding in their belief in fairness. However, being too stubborn or inflexible may hinder compromise. So, the key is knowing when to stand firm and when to adapt. Adjourn. To suspend or pause a meeting or event until a later time. Postpone. Delay. Suspend. Defer. Why do some meetings get adjourned instead of completed? Meetings often get adjourned when important details need more time for consideration. It's better to postpone decisions than to rush them. Sometimes, unforeseen issues arise that delay discussions. Rather than forcing a conclusion, organizations suspend the meeting or defer it to ensure thorough analysis and effective outcomes. Aesthetic. Concerned with beauty or the appreciation of beauty. Artistic. Elegant. Attractive. Stylish. Why is aesthetic appeal important in daily life? Aesthetic appeal greatly influences how we experience our surroundings. Living in an artistic environment can elevate mood and productivity. People are often drawn to elegant and stylish designs because they inspire comfort. Whether it's architecture or fashion, attractive visuals make life more enjoyable and meaningful. Agony. Extreme physical or emotional pain. Anguish. Misery. Suffering. Torment. Have you ever experienced a moment of great agony? Yes, I once witnessed a close friend go through the agony of losing a parent. The emotional anguish she felt was profound. Her days were filled with deep misery and internal suffering. Seeing her endure such torment reminded me of the fragile nature of human emotions and how support during such times is vital. Alleviate. To reduce or ease pain, burden, or difficulty. Relieve. Ease. Lessen. Mitigate. How can we alleviate the stress of modern life? I believe one effective way to alleviate daily stress is through mindfulness and physical activity. These practices relieve mental pressure and ease anxiety. Even a short walk can lessen feelings of burnout. Additionally, supportive relationships help mitigate emotional strain and bring balance to a hectic lifestyle. Amateur. A person who engages in something without formal training or payment. Novice. Beginner. Non-professional. Layperson. Do you think being an amateur has advantages? Certainly. Being an amateur often means you're exploring something out of pure passion. I started photography as a novice, and although I was just a beginner, the joy was immense. Unlike professionals, a non-professional can enjoy the freedom of learning. Many laypersons achieve mastery simply by following curiosity. Ameliorate. To make a bad or unpleasant situation better. Improve. Enhance. Better. Refine. What steps can be taken to ameliorate environmental problems? To ameliorate environmental degradation, we must act swiftly. Governments can improve regulations on pollution, while individuals can enhance their lifestyle by using eco-friendly products. Small actions better the environment, and over time, such collective efforts can refine the planet's health and sustain its ecosystems. Amenities. Useful or desirable features of a place that provide comfort or convenience. Facilities, conveniences, services, perks. What role do amenities play in choosing a place to live? Amenities are crucial when selecting a place to live. Modern facilities like gyms and pools add tremendous value. Daily conveniences, such as nearby stores or transport services, make life easier. People often choose homes based on these added perks because such services contribute to comfort, well-being, and quality of life. Anomaly, something that deviates from what is normal or expected. Irregularity, deviation, aberration, oddity. Have you ever experienced an anomaly in your life or routine? Yes, I once encountered an anomaly in my academic results. Despite my consistent performance, there was an oddity in my final score that surprised everyone. This irregularity led to an investigation, revealing a clerical error. It reminded me how even a slight deviation can become a notable aberration in an otherwise predictable system. Apathy, lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. Indifference, disinterest, lethargy, detachment. Why do some people show apathy towards social issues? I believe apathy often stems from a feeling of helplessness. People may express indifference because they think their actions won't matter. Others show disinterest due to emotional fatigue or social lethargy. This detachment leads to inaction, which unfortunately sustains many unresolved global challenges. Healing, attractive or interesting, alluring, pleasing, engaging, captivating. What makes a product or advertisement appealing to you? For me, a product becomes appealing when it's both aesthetically pleasing and useful. Bright visuals are alluring, and a relatable story makes it engaging. I find minimalist design captivating, especially when paired with functionality. These elements collectively make an advertisement truly pleasing and memorable. Apprehension, anxiety or fear that something bad will happen. Anxiety, unease, nervousness, concern. Do you experience apprehension before important events? Absolutely. Before a big presentation, I often feel a wave of apprehension. The anxiety usually comes from fear of making mistakes. There's a sense of unease and nervousness about how the audience will respond. Despite preparation, that lingering concern never fully fades, but it helps sharpen my focus. Assembly, a group of people gathered together for a common purpose. Gathering, meeting, congregation, convention. How important is it for communities to hold assemblies? Assemblies play a crucial role in fostering community spirit. A local gathering allows for open dialogue and collective decision-making. These meetings encourage participation, turning a simple congregation into something meaningful. Regular conventions help address common concerns and strengthen unity among diverse groups. Asylum, protection granted to someone fleeing danger or persecution. Refuge, sanctuary, shelter, safe haven. Why do some people seek asylum in foreign countries? Many people seek asylum because their home country no longer offers safety. They flee in search of refuge from conflict or persecution. Nations providing sanctuary give them the chance to rebuild. Access to shelter and legal rights in a safe haven brings dignity and hope to those escaping severe hardship. Omin, to make something greater by adding to it. Increase, amplify, enhance, boost. How can technology augment the way we learn today? Technology can significantly augment education. Online platforms increase access to resources and amplify our understanding through multimedia content. AI tools enhance personalized learning, and apps boost engagement through interactive exercises. Overall, these innovations make education more effective and inclusive. Avarice, extreme greed for wealth or material gain. Greed, covetousness, materialism, rapacity. Do you think avarice affects business decisions negatively? Definitely. Avarice often pushes companies to prioritize profit over ethics. This greed can lead to exploitation or harmful practices. Covetousness blurs long-term sustainability. In a world increasingly concerned about materialism, rapacity may damage not just reputations, but also long-standing customer trust. Bigotry, intolerance toward those who are different or hold other views. Intolerance, prejudice, discrimination, narrow-mindedness. How can society combat bigotry effectively? Combating bigotry starts with education. Promoting tolerance helps dismantle deep-rooted prejudice. Laws that discourage discrimination also play a role. But real change comes from challenging narrow-mindedness in daily life. Creating inclusive environments makes it harder for intolerance to thrive or be accepted. Bilingual, able to speak two languages fluently. Multilingual, fluent. Duolingual, proficient. What are the advantages of being bilingual in the modern world? Being bilingual offers immense advantages. You become more fluent in communication across cultures. In today's global world, a multilingual person often has better job prospects. The ability to switch between languages makes you duolingual and highly proficient, which enhances both personal and professional opportunities. Capitulate, to surrender or give in after resistance. Surrender, yield, submit, concede. Do you think it's wise to capitulate during an argument? Sometimes, knowing when to capitulate is a strength rather than a weakness. If the other person's point is valid, it's better to surrender pride than prolong a disagreement. Yielding in such moments shows maturity. Instead of being stubborn, we submit to reason and concede gracefully for the sake of resolution. Coherent, logical, well-organized, and easy to understand. Logical, lucid, articulate, clear. Why is it important to give a coherent answer in interviews or exams? Giving a coherent answer shows that you think in a logical and structured way. A lucid response allows your message to be clearly understood. When someone is articulate, their ideas flow naturally and persuasively. A clear explanation can impress interviewers and demonstrates confidence and intelligence effectively. Collapse, to fall down or break apart suddenly. Crumble, crumple, fall, cave in. Have you ever seen something suddenly collapse? Yes, I once saw a poorly constructed wall collapse after heavy rain. It began to crumble at the base, then the structure seemed to crumple from the top before it fell completely. Witnessing it fall so quickly was quite shocking. It just seemed to cave in with no warning, leaving behind a pile of debris. Commentary, a series of spoken or written remarks offering interpretation. Explanation, analysis, observation, critique. Do you enjoy listening to commentary during sports or live events? Absolutely. A good sports commentary adds depth by offering explanation and real-time analysis. The observer often shares quick observations that highlight the skill or tactics of the players. I also appreciate intelligent critique when it feels balanced and helps audiences understand the game's nuances. Confess, to admit to something, usually something wrong or secret. Admit, disclose, reveal, own up. Is it difficult for people to confess their mistakes? Yes, it can be challenging for many to confess, especially when they fear judgment. Admitting wrongdoing takes courage. Some struggle to disclose their actions, preferring to hide them. However, when someone does reveal the truth and own up to their mistake, it often leads to personal growth and stronger relationships. Consecutive, following one after another without interruption. Successive, continuous, sequential, uninterrupted. Is it hard to stay focused for consecutive hours during study or work? Definitely. Working for consecutive hours demands mental discipline. It's hard to stay productive through successive tasks without taking breaks. Continuous concentration can lead to fatigue. Breaking the work into sequential steps and scheduling rest helps maintain an uninterrupted flow without feeling overwhelmed. Consensus, general agreement among a group. Agreement, unity, harmony. Accord. How important is consensus when making decisions in a group setting? Consensus is crucial in group decision-making as it ensures collective agreement. Reaching unity reflects mutual respect and understanding. When decisions are made in harmony, they tend to be more accepted. An accord within the group helps maintain strong relationships and increases the likelihood of successful collaboration. Consolidate, to combine or bring together to make stronger or more solid. Strengthen, merge, integrate, unify. How can someone consolidate their knowledge while studying? I believe the best way to consolidate knowledge is through revision and application. Rewriting concepts in your own words helps strengthen understanding. Group discussions allow students to merge perspectives. Creating mind maps can integrate various ideas, and past paper practice helps unify concepts in a meaningful, structured way. Conundrum, a confusing and difficult problem or question. Puzzle, dilemma, riddle, enigma. Have you ever faced a conundrum that was difficult to resolve? Yes, choosing between two great job offers was a real conundrum. It felt like a mental puzzle where neither option was clearly better. The dilemma involved balancing passion with financial stability. It wasn't just a riddle of choices. It felt like an enigma that took weeks of deep thinking and advice to solve. Corroborate, to confirm or support with evidence. Verify, validate, substantiate, confirm. How important is it to corroborate facts before making a decision? It's absolutely essential. Relying on assumptions can lead to errors, so it's wise to corroborate facts before acting. For instance, verifying data through multiple sources prevents misinformation. Validating figures adds credibility. Substantiating claims and confirming reliability ensures decisions are well-founded and logical. Daunting, intimidating, or overwhelming. Intimidating, overwhelming, alarming, discouraging. What is the most daunting task you've ever had to complete? Preparing for my final thesis was incredibly daunting. The research workload was intimidating and the expectations overwhelming. Some moments felt downright alarming, like when I lost a week's worth of progress. Still, even during the discouraging phases, pushing through taught me resilience and time management like nothing else. Decorum, proper and polite behavior. Etiquette, politeness, civility, manners. Do you think decorum is important in formal settings? Absolutely. In formal situations like interviews or ceremonies, maintaining decorum shows respect. Good etiquette leaves a lasting impression. Politeness helps communication flow smoothly. Whether it's showing civility during disagreement or using proper manners at a formal dinner, such behavior fosters professionalism and dignity. Delegate, to assign a responsibility to someone else. Assign, entrust, allocate, appoint. Do you think it's important to delegate tasks at work? Without a doubt, a leader should know how to delegate to maintain efficiency. When you assign responsibilities clearly, it builds accountability, and trusting others empowers them to grow. Allocating tasks strategically prevents burnout, and appointing the right person ensures the job is done with care and expertise. Delicate, easily damaged, fragile, or requiring sensitivity. Fragile, gentle, faint, subtle. Can you think of a situation where you had to handle something delicate? Yes, comforting a grieving friend was a delicate moment. Emotions were fragile, and my words had to be gentle yet honest. The atmosphere felt faint, filled with silence and emotion. I tried to express subtle support without overwhelming her. It reminded me how important compassion and emotional intelligence are in such situations. Denounce. To publicly declare something as wrong or evil. Condemn. Criticize. Accuse. Censure. Is it important to denounce unethical behavior in society? Yes, it's essential to denounce unethical practices to uphold moral standards. When we publicly condemn corruption or injustice, we promote accountability. Criticizing wrongdoing helps create awareness. We mustn't hesitate to accuse those harming others, and leaders who censure unethical actions set a strong example for the community. Deploy. To position or arrange resources or people for strategic use. Utilize. Dispatch. Station. Mobilize. How do modern businesses deploy technology to improve efficiency? Most companies deploy digital tools to streamline operations. They utilize AI for data analysis, dispatch automated responses for customer queries, and station experts remotely via cloud platforms. Moreover, firms mobilize resources quickly using collaborative software, which enhances productivity in a cost-effective manner. Deteriorate. To become worse over time. Decline. Worsen. Degenerate. Decay. What are some common reasons why people's health deteriorates with age? As people age, their health tends to deteriorate due to reduced immunity and mobility. Often, lifestyle habits contribute to the decline. Chronic diseases can worsen over time if not managed properly. Muscles degenerate without regular activity, and unhealthy diets may cause the body to decay faster than it naturally should. Detrimental. Causing harm or damage. Harmful. Damaging. Injurious. Adverse. Can social media be detrimental to young people's development? Yes, excessive social media use can be detrimental. It's not just harmful to mental health, but also damaging to focus and time management. Prolonged screen time is injurious to sleep patterns. Moreover, adverse comparisons with others on these platforms can lead to self-esteem issues and anxiety, especially among teenagers. Diversity, the state of having varied differences among people or things. Variety, heterogeneity, multiculturalism, mixture. Why is diversity important in the workplace? Diversity fosters creativity and innovation. A workplace with cultural variety leads to richer perspectives. Heterogeneity in teams allows better problem solving. Multiculturalism promotes respect and inclusion, while a healthy mixture of ideas and backgrounds encourages growth. Such environments are also more adaptable to global trends. Dogmatic, asserting opinions strongly, as if they are undeniably true. Inflexible, rigid, opinionated, unyielding. Do you think being dogmatic is a flaw or a strength in leadership? It depends. Being dogmatic can sometimes give the impression of strong leadership, but often it appears inflexible. Leaders who are too rigid may struggle to adapt. An overly opinionated approach can alienate others. While unyielding resolve can be admirable, true strength lies in balancing firm beliefs with openness to new ideas. Dormant, inactive but capable of becoming active in the future. Inactive, latent, sleeping, inert. Can talents remain dormant if not practiced? Absolutely. Without practice, talents can remain dormant for years. For instance, a person may have an inactive skill in music that fades. Latent abilities need nurturing, much like a sleeping muscle, and used creativity can become inert. But with effort and training, these hidden strengths can come alive again. Ecstasy, an overwhelming feeling of joy or excitement. Bliss, elation, euphoria, rapture. What moment in your life filled you with ecstasy? Graduating from university was pure ecstasy for me. The journey was long, and reaching the goal brought immense bliss. My parents' proud smiles filled me with elation. The sense of accomplishment gave me euphoria that lasted for days. It was a moment of emotional rapture I'll cherish forever. Elevate, to raise something to a higher level. Uplift, boost, promote, enhance. How can hobbies elevate a person's quality of life? Hobbies truly elevate life by bringing personal joy and fulfillment. For example, engaging in painting can uplift one's mood. Regular exercise helps boost both physical and mental well-being. Pursuing creative passions can promote relaxation and enhance productivity, making them invaluable for maintaining life balance. Eligible, qualified, or entitled to be chosen or participate. Qualified, entitled, suitable, permitted. What makes a student eligible for a scholarship? A student becomes eligible for a scholarship by being academically qualified and showing leadership skills. Many programs require the applicant to be entitled through merit. It's essential to be a suitable candidate with strong credentials. Only when permitted by guidelines, students receive financial aid opportunities. Eliminate, to remove or get rid of completely. Remove, eradicate, terminate, abolish. Why is it difficult to eliminate bad habits? Eliminating bad habits is hard because they're deeply rooted in routine. While people attempt to remove them, triggers often remain. It takes effort to eradicate cravings or terminate old behavioral loops. Unless consciously abolished through discipline and support, such habits tend to resurface repeatedly over time. Embellish, to make something more attractive by adding decorative details. Adorn, decorate, enhance, beautify. Do you think people often embellish stories when talking to friends? Yes, it's common for people to embellish stories to make them more interesting. They might adorn the tale with exaggerated emotions or decorate details for dramatic effect. These enhancements beautify the narrative, and while the core stays true, such storytelling often helps enhance engagement and entertainment during casual conversations. Emerging, becoming apparent, or coming into existence. Developing, arising, evolving, up and coming. What challenges do emerging businesses face in today's economy? Emerging businesses often face intense competition and limited resources. While they're still developing, they must attract attention in a saturated market. As new trends are arising constantly, these brands must keep evolving to stay relevant. An up-and-coming company also requires innovation and strong branding to succeed. Encroach, to gradually intrude on another's space, rights, or territory. Intrude, trespass, infringe, invade. How can urban development encroach on natural habitats? Urban growth can encroach on wildlife by clearing forests to build homes. This development intrudes on animals' habitats, reducing biodiversity. It's not just trespassing into physical space, it also infringes on the ecosystem's balance. Slowly, as cities expand, they inevitably invade areas crucial to sustaining natural life. Endorsement, public approval or support for something or someone. Approval, recommendation, sanction, backing. How important is celebrity endorsement in advertising? Celebrity endorsement is vital in modern marketing. When stars show approval for a product, it boosts credibility. Their recommendation influences followers' choices significantly. A brand gains instant recognition with celebrity sanction, and such backing often translates into higher sales and better public perception. Endurance, the ability to endure difficulties over time. Stamina, perseverance, tenacity. Resilience. Do you think physical or mental endurance is more valuable? Both are important, but mental endurance often has a lasting impact. While physical stamina is crucial for athletes, perseverance helps everyone push through academic or emotional trials. Tenacity drives long-term goals, and resilience helps bounce back from setbacks. Mental strength shapes success across personal and professional life. Engulf. To completely cover or surround something, often in a consuming way. Envelop. Swallow. Immerse. Overwhelm. Can emotions ever engulf a person during stressful times? Certainly. During grief, people can feel entirely engulfed by sadness. The pain can envelop their thoughts and swallow their sense of hope. At times, they immerse themselves in solitude, and the overwhelming nature of their emotions makes even small tasks difficult. Support systems are vital in such moments. Enigma. Something difficult to understand or explain. Mystery. Puzzle. Riddle. Conundrum. Have you ever encountered a person who felt like an enigma? Absolutely. My high school literature teacher was a true enigma. Her unpredictable moods were a mystery to us. Her teaching style felt like solving a puzzle each day. The way she spoke was filled with hidden meanings, making her a riddle we couldn't decode, a conundrum who left lasting impressions on every student. Eradicate. To completely get rid of something harmful or unwanted. Eliminate. Exterminate. Abolish. Remove. Do you think it is possible to eradicate global poverty? While ambitious, eradicating global poverty is possible through collective effort. Nations must eliminate systemic inequality and exterminate corruption. Policies that abolish exploitative labor and remove educational barriers are key. It's a long road, but sustained action makes such progress achievable. Esoteric. Intended for or understood by a small, specialized audience. Obscure. Cryptic. Mysterious. Abstract. Why do some academic subjects seem esoteric to students? Some fields, like quantum mechanics or ancient philosophy, appear esoteric because they involve obscure terminology. The concepts often seem cryptic and mysterious, making it hard for outsiders to engage. Their abstract nature demands deep focus, which is why they attract only a niche group of learners. Etiquette. A set of customary rules for polite behavior in society. Manners. Protocol. Decorum. Politeness. Is etiquette still important in modern digital communication? Yes, digital etiquette is crucial today. Good manners prevent miscommunication online. Following proper protocol, like replying promptly, shows respect. Using polite language maintains decorum in emails or texts. Without basic politeness, even casual chats can lead to misunderstanding or offense in today's fast-paced digital world. Eventually, in the end, after a delay or over time, ultimately, in time, sooner or later, at last, do you believe hard work eventually pays off? Absolutely. Even if results aren't immediate, hard work eventually bears fruit. Ultimately, consistent effort opens doors. In time, skills improve, and sooner or later recognition follows. At last, the perseverance that seemed unnoticed becomes the foundation for long-term success and self-belief. Exacerbate. To make a bad situation or feeling worse. Worsen. Intensify. Aggravate. Escalate. How can arguments exacerbate a conflict in relationships? Arguments can exacerbate tensions quickly. Minor disagreements may worsen if not addressed calmly. Harsh words often intensify emotions and aggravate misunderstandings. When both sides escalate their frustration, conflicts deepen. Effective communication is vital to prevent issues from spiraling unnecessarily. Exaggeration, a statement that makes something seem more significant than it is. Overstatement, hyperbole, embellishment, amplification. Do you think exaggeration helps or hurts when telling a story? It depends on context. A mild exaggeration adds drama, making stories more entertaining. Overstatement and hyperbole can hold attention, but too much embellishment may distort facts. If used wisely, amplification brings color to a tale. If not, it risks losing trust and sounding insincere or unbelievable. Excruciating, intensely painful or emotionally unbearable. Agonizing, tormenting, unbearable, grievous. Have you ever experienced an excruciating moment in your life? Yes, I had an excruciating back injury once that left me bedridden for days. The pain was so agonizing I couldn't even move without groaning. It became a tormenting experience, not just physically, but mentally. Honestly, the level of discomfort was utterly unbearable and left me in a grievous state for quite some time. Exonerate, to declare someone free from blame or wrongdoing. Acquit, clear, vindicate, absolve. Do you think people are always happy after being exonerated from false charges? While being exonerated offers great relief, it doesn't erase the trauma. Though courts may acquit someone legally, society doesn't always clear their reputation easily. It's only when evidence fully vindicates the person that they feel truly absolved. So yes, emotional recovery can lag behind the legal outcome. Exposure, the state of being subject to something, e.g., risk, view, or information. Revelation, disclosure, visibility, encounter. Why is early exposure to languages beneficial for children? Early exposure to new languages gives children cognitive advantages. This kind of revelation enhances memory and thinking speed. Regular disclosure to sounds and grammar helps retention. Increased visibility of varied speech patterns and even spontaneous encounter with native speakers can build natural fluency over time. Extinct, no longer existing, having died out completely. Wiped out, gone, lost, died out. What do you think causes animal species to become extinct? Several factors contribute to species becoming extinct. Habitat destruction has wiped out countless ecosystems. Pollution and climate change mean many animals are simply gone. Overexploitation has led to lost biodiversity, while invasive species have caused some natives to be completely died out within decades. Extravagant, excessive or lacking moderation, especially in spending. Lavish, excessive, over the top, wasteful. Is it good or bad to spend money on extravagant items? It depends on the context. Sometimes, buying an extravagant item like a lavish wedding dress has emotional value. But excessive spending without purpose can be irresponsible. Over-the-top purchases often lead to regret, especially if they're wasteful. So, moderation and mindfulness should guide financial decisions. Extreme, very severe, intense, or far beyond the ordinary. Intense, drastic, severe, excessive. Do you enjoy participating in extreme sports or activities? I have a fascination with extreme activities like paragliding. The thrill is intense and gives me an adrenaline rush. However, I'm mindful of the drastic risks involved. Safety precautions are crucial, especially with severe weather changes or equipment issues. I avoid anything that feels excessively dangerous. Facilitate, to make a process or task easier or more efficient. Simplify, assist, enable, expedite. How can teachers facilitate effective learning in the classroom? Teachers can facilitate learning by creating interactive environments. They simplify complex topics using visual aids. They also assist students through tailored feedback. Providing digital tools enables individual pacing, while well-structured lessons expedite understanding. A supportive teacher truly transforms the learning process. Fertile, capable of producing abundant growth or offspring. Productive, fruitful, generative, lush. Why is fertile land essential for agriculture? Fertile land is the backbone of agriculture because it's highly productive and supports healthy crops. A fruitful region ensures food security and economic growth. Such soil is generative in nature, helping sustain diverse plant species. Lush and nutrient-rich environments are crucial for high-yield farming practices. Forensic, related to scientific or legal investigation. Investigative, criminalistic, analytical, legal. How do forensic sciences help in solving crimes? Forensic science plays a vital role in modern justice systems. Its investigative tools provide evidence that can reconstruct events. Criminalistic analysis of fingerprints, for example, leads to accurate conclusions. Using analytical methods, experts support legal proceedings and ensure fairness in convicting the right person. Forerunner, a person or thing that precedes or leads to something else. Precursor, pioneer, herald, trailblazer. Can you name a forerunner in modern technology? Steve Jobs is often seen as a forerunner in consumer electronics. As a precursor to the smartphone revolution, his vision reshaped communication. He was a true pioneer whose ideas acted as a herald for future innovations. As a trailblazer, he inspired many entrepreneurs to think differently and creatively. Forgery, the act of faking something to deceive. Counterfeit, imitation, fraud, falsification. Why is forgery a serious concern in today's society? Forgery undermines trust in legal and financial systems. Counterfeit money, for example, disrupts economies. Imitation artworks or documents cause fraud that can harm individuals and institutions. The falsification of identities or certificates can lead to serious crimes, making the prevention of forgery crucial for societal integrity. Formula, a method, rule, or expression used to solve or create something. Recipe, blueprint, method, procedure. Do you think there's a universal formula for success? I don't believe a single formula guarantees success, but certain principles do help. Having a clear recipe for time management and discipline is essential. A blueprint tailored to personal strengths improves effectiveness. Adopting a consistent method or step-by-step procedure makes reaching goals more structured and achievable. Fortune, great wealth or chance events in life. Wealth, riches, prosperity, luck. Do you think fortune plays a role in achieving success? While hard work is critical, fortune does play a role in many success stories. Some individuals gain wealth due to being in the right place at the right time. Others build fortunes through smart decisions. Prosperity can stem from effort, but luck often provides unexpected boosts that help tip the scales toward achievement. Foster, to encourage or nurture the development of something. Cultivate, promote, nurture, encourage. How can schools foster creativity among students? Schools can foster creativity by cultivating open-minded thinking. Project-based learning helps promote innovation and problem-solving. Teachers who nurture diverse ideas inspire students to explore freely. Moreover, a supportive environment encourages risk-taking and self-expression, both essential elements of creative development. Full-fledged, completely developed or trained, fully qualified. Established, complete, mature, proficient. When do you think someone becomes a full-fledged professional? I think someone becomes a full-fledged professional not just by earning qualifications, but through experience. Being established in your field requires more than a degree. You're truly complete when you're mature enough to make independent decisions, and your skills are so proficient that others trust your expertise implicitly. Furtive, attempting to avoid notice or attention, typically due to guilt or secrecy. Secretive, sneaky, stealthy, surreptitious. Why do some people act in a furtive manner in social settings? Some individuals act in a furtive way due to anxiety or mistrust. Their secretive glances and sneaky behaviors often stem from insecurity. They may avoid eye contact and speak in stealthy tones. This surreptitious behavior can also reflect deeper issues, like fearing judgment or hiding parts of their personality. Harness, to control and make use of a resource or ability. Utilize, exploit, employ, channel. How can young people harness their talents for future success? Young people should harness their strengths early. For instance, if they're good at math, they can utilize that through competitions or tutoring. Schools should encourage them to exploit their potential positively. By employing those abilities and channeling their passion, they can shape a future full of opportunities and fulfillment. Hedonistic, devoted to the pursuit of pleasure and self-indulgence. Pleasure-seeking, indulgent, sensual, self-gratifying. Do you think modern lifestyles encourage a hedonistic approach to life? Modern life often leans toward hedonistic tendencies. People are bombarded with messages promoting pleasure-seeking habits, from luxury goods to indulgent food. The culture of instant gratification is extremely sensual and encourages self-gratifying behavior. While occasional enjoyment is fine, excess often leads to dissatisfaction or imbalance. Hereditary, passed down genetically from parents to offspring. Inherited, genetic, ancestral, transmitted. How do hereditary traits influence personality or health? Hereditary traits strongly shape both personality and health. Many qualities, like eye color, are inherited, but even mental health conditions may be genetic. Ancestral habits often pass down too, like diet or work ethic. Such traits, transmitted across generations, play a key role in how we develop and perceive the world. Hierarchy, a system of organization with ranks or levels of authority. Ranking, structure, chain of command, pecking order. What role does hierarchy play in large organizations? Hierarchy helps establish a clear ranking of responsibilities. With a structured chain of command, tasks get distributed efficiently. However, rigid hierarchy can limit creativity. Still, when there's a well-understood pecking order, it prevents chaos and ensures that everyone knows their role within the organizational structure. Hoard, to accumulate and store items in excessive quantities, often secretly. Stockpile, store, amass, stash. Why do some people hoard objects or possessions? People hoard for various reasons, often tied to fear of scarcity. They tend to stockpile items they believe might become useful. Sometimes they store things to feel secure. Others amass objects for emotional reasons, unable to part with them. This need to stash items often reflects deeper psychological or emotional attachment. Homogeneous, made up of things or people that are all the same or similar. Uniform, identical, alike, consistent. Do you think a homogeneous society is more peaceful? While a homogeneous society may seem peaceful due to uniform culture and identical practices, it can also lack diversity. When everyone is too alike, innovation may suffer. On the positive side, consistent values reduce conflict. Still, true peace often comes from respecting both differences and shared traditions rather than being completely identical. Hype, extravagant or excessive publicity or promotion. Buzz, publicity, promotion, sensation. How does media hype influence consumer behavior? Media hype creates an artificial sense of urgency. When there's buzz around a new phone, consumers rush to buy it. This level of publicity influences emotions more than logic. Clever promotion makes the product seem essential. The manufactured sensation can blur the line between actual value and perceived necessity. Hyperbole, deliberate and obvious exaggeration for emphasis or effect. Exaggeration, overstatement, amplification, embellishment. Do you think people use hyperbole too often in daily conversation? Definitely. Many use hyperbole unknowingly. For instance, saying, "I've told you a million times." Such exaggerations can be humorous or expressive, but overstatement sometimes distorts facts. Still, when used well, amplification adds dramatic flair. However, too much embellishment can confuse listeners or reduce credibility. Immune, protected or exempt from something, especially disease or obligation. Resistant, unaffected, exempt, shielded. Do you think people can become immune to stress over time? I don't believe anyone is completely immune to stress, but with experience, people become more resistant. For instance, those in high-pressure roles may appear unaffected by chaos. They're often exempt from emotional breakdowns because they've developed mental resilience. Their habits shield them from being overwhelmed easily. Impeccable, flawless or perfect in quality or behavior. Flawless, spotless, unblemished, exemplary. Can having an impeccable appearance influence first impressions? Absolutely. An impeccable appearance often creates a powerful first impression. People with flawless grooming and spotless attire are perceived as professional. Unblemished presentation reflects attention to detail. In many cultures, an exemplary outward image builds instant respect, especially in business and formal settings. Implement, to put a plan or tool into effect. Execute, enforce, apply, carry out. How can schools implement more effective teaching strategies? Schools should implement student-centered strategies that encourage critical thinking. Educators must execute plans that prioritize creativity. For example, enforcing project-based learning can boost engagement. Teachers can apply technology meaningfully and carry out assessments that help monitor both progress and understanding. Inference, a conclusion drawn from evidence or reasoning. Deduction, assumption, interpretation, conclusion. Why is the ability to make inferences important in reading comprehension? Making inferences helps readers connect the dots beyond what's explicitly stated. Through deduction, they uncover hidden meanings. Often, assumptions based on context lead to a deeper understanding. By practicing interpretation, one can draw better conclusions, which enhances both analytical thinking and academic performance. Ingenuity, cleverness, originality, or inventive skill. Creativity, resourcefulness, inventiveness, cleverness. How important is ingenuity in problem-solving situations? Ingenuity is crucial in overcoming challenges efficiently. People who apply creativity often find unconventional yet effective solutions. Their resourcefulness helps them adapt in real time. Inventiveness allows them to craft new strategies, while cleverness ensures they're thinking ahead. It's a skill that employers highly value. Innate, inborn, naturally present from birth. Inherent, instinctive, natural, ingrained. Do you think leadership is an innate quality or a learned one? I think leadership includes both innate traits and learned skills. Some people have an inherent confidence and instinctive decision-making abilities. Their ability to lead feels natural, as if ingrained in their personality. Still, training can help refine these talents. The best leaders usually blend nature with nurture. Innovative, featuring new methods or original thinking. Creative, groundbreaking, inventive, original. Why is it important for businesses to be innovative today? In today's fast-paced market, being innovative sets a business apart. Creative thinking fuels unique products. Groundbreaking technology attracts forward-thinking consumers. Inventive strategies help solve modern challenges, and original branding builds customer loyalty. Without innovation, companies risk becoming irrelevant in evolving industries. Intimidating, making someone feel frightened or nervous due to power or appearance. Daunting, threatening, overpowering, frightening. Have you ever found a situation or person intimidating? Yes, presenting in front of senior executives was truly intimidating. Their presence felt daunting, and I struggled to remain composed. Their overpowering questions made me nervous. At times, their gaze felt almost threatening. Despite the frightening environment, I pushed through and gained confidence in public speaking. Intriguing, fascinating, or arousing curiosity. Fascinating, engaging, captivating, thought-provoking. What makes a topic or story truly intriguing to you? A story becomes intriguing when it's both fascinating and unpredictable. I love plots that are engaging and full of subtle twists. Captivating characters and thought-provoking dilemmas keep me hooked. It's that sense of curiosity that drives me to uncover every detail and fully immerse myself in the narrative. Inundate, to overwhelm someone or something with things or people. Flood, overload, swamp, deluge. Why do people often feel inundated with information these days? Nowadays, we're inundated with information from every direction: news, social media, emails. This constant flood of data can overload the brain and reduce focus. We're easily swamped by notifications and updates. The digital deluge has made it difficult to find silence or clarity unless we set strict boundaries. Invigorate, to give energy or strength to someone or something. Energize, stimulate, refresh, revitalize. How can a short break during work invigorate your performance? Taking a short break can really invigorate the mind. A quick walk energizes the body and helps refresh concentration. Even a change of scenery stimulates fresh thinking. I often feel revitalized after stepping away from my desk, returning with more clarity and productivity for the rest of the day. Ironic, happening in the opposite way to what is expected, often humorously so. Paradoxical, sarcastic, unpredictable, satirical. Can you describe an ironic moment in your life? Once, I studied all night for a test only to discover it had been postponed. It was so ironic, my effort felt wasted. The situation was paradoxical because my dedication didn't pay off. I made a sarcastic joke about having psychic abilities. It was both unpredictable and mildly satirical in hindsight. Irreversible, impossible to change or undo once done. Permanent, irrevocable, unchangeable. Final. Why is climate change often described as an irreversible problem? Climate change is termed irreversible because many of its effects are permanent. Once glaciers melt, the damage is irrevocable. Global warming creates unchangeable weather patterns. If we pass certain thresholds, the consequences could be final. That's why urgent and global efforts are needed to prevent ecological disaster. Jeopardize, to put something in danger or at risk. Endanger, threaten, compromise, risk. How can carelessness jeopardize someone's career? Carelessness can seriously jeopardize a professional career. Missing deadlines might endanger credibility. It can threaten team productivity and compromise trust with clients or managers. Eventually, repeated errors risk job security altogether. Precision and accountability are key traits for long-term success in any field. Junction, a place where two or more roads or paths meet. Intersection, crossroad, confluence, exchange. Have you ever faced a difficult decision at a junction in life? Yes, after graduation, I reached a personal and professional junction. It was a real intersection of choices, whether to study abroad or take a job locally. That crossroad pushed me to reflect deeply. The confluence of family expectations and career ambition met at that exchange point, shaping the direction I eventually chose. Latent, existing but not yet developed or visible. Dormant, hidden, underlying, inactive. How can people discover their latent talents? People often uncover their latent talents when they face new challenges. For instance, a dormant ability to lead may emerge in group projects. Hidden creativity can surface through art or writing. These underlying skills are often inactive until triggered by unique experiences or encouragement from mentors or peers. Lenient, permissive, tolerant, or not strict. Merciful, indulgent, soft-hearted, forgiving. Do you think parents should be lenient or strict with children? It's important to strike a balance. Being overly lenient may lead children to take advantage of rules. However, merciful parenting fosters trust. Indulgent caregivers who are soft-hearted build emotional connections. A forgiving atmosphere allows kids to admit mistakes without fear, which ultimately encourages personal responsibility. Lesson: to reduce the amount, degree, or severity of something. Diminish, ease, alleviate, curtail. What are some effective ways to lessen workplace stress? Regular breaks and flexible schedules can lessen stress significantly. They help diminish fatigue and ease pressure. Employers should introduce activities that alleviate anxiety, like mindfulness sessions. Clear communication and realistic deadlines also curtail confusion, making work more manageable and emotionally healthier. Liability, legal or financial responsibility, a disadvantage. Obligation, burden, drawback, handicap. Do you think social media is more of an asset or a liability? While social media offers many benefits, it can also become a liability. For some, it's a constant obligation to maintain a public image. It may even feel like a burden, draining time and focus. In some careers, inappropriate content is a major drawback. And in extreme cases, it acts as a handicap to productivity and well-being. Literally, in a literal manner or exactly as stated. Exactly, precisely, word for word, verbatim. Why is it important to distinguish between literal and figurative language? Understanding when someone speaks literally is key to avoiding confusion. If you take jokes exactly as they're said, you might miss the humor. In legal or academic settings, statements must be interpreted precisely. Some contracts need word-for-word reading. Without clarity, it's easy to mistake figurative remarks for verbatim truths. Lucid, expressed clearly and easy to understand. Clear, understandable, coherent, articulate. Why is lucid communication essential in professional settings? In the workplace, lucid communication prevents misunderstandings. Being clear helps avoid errors. When someone is understandable and coherent, meetings become productive. Articulate leaders inspire trust because their messages are easy to follow and effective across teams, cultures, and professional levels. Lucrative, producing a great deal of profit. Profitable, rewarding, gainful, money-making. What are some of the most lucrative careers today? Careers in tech and finance are extremely lucrative nowadays. Software engineering is highly profitable, especially in AI. Investment banking is also rewarding for those who thrive in high-pressure roles. Entrepreneurship can be gainful if the business idea is solid. Overall, money-making industries often evolve with market demand. Malleable, capable of being shaped or influenced. Flexible, adaptable, pliable, moldable. Do you think young minds are more malleable than adults? Absolutely. Children are more malleable because they're in a stage of rapid development. Their minds are flexible and open to new ideas. This adaptability makes learning easier. They're also more pliable emotionally, which helps them absorb values and behaviors. With the right guidance, their moldable nature can be shaped positively. Maneuver, a skillful or strategic movement or action. Operation, movement, strategy, tactic. Have you ever had to carefully maneuver through a difficult situation? Yes, during a group project, I had to maneuver through a disagreement among team members. It required a diplomatic operation to resolve conflict. I used careful movement in conversation to avoid confrontation. My strategy involved listening first, and my final tactic was to assign roles based on individual strengths. Manipulate, to control or influence someone or something cleverly or unfairly. Control, exploit, influence, handle. Why do some people manipulate others in relationships? Some individuals manipulate others to control outcomes or protect insecurities. They might exploit emotions or influence choices subtly. Often, this need to handle situations arises from fear of vulnerability. While sometimes strategic, manipulation in relationships often leads to mistrust and emotional imbalance. Mitigate, to make something less severe or harmful. Alleviate, lessen, ease, reduce. How can public transport mitigate traffic congestion in cities? Expanding public transport can significantly mitigate urban congestion. It helps alleviate pressure on roads, lessen vehicle emissions, and ease commute times. Reducing car dependency also promotes sustainable travel. With effective infrastructure, cities can ease both traffic flow and environmental burden. Multitudinous, very numerous or consisting of many elements. Countless, numerous, plentiful, innumerable. How do you feel about living in a city with multitudinous opportunities? Living in a city with multitudinous opportunities is exciting. You're surrounded by countless cultural experiences and numerous career paths. Plentiful social events make every weekend an adventure. With innumerable chances for growth, it's easy to find something that aligns with your passions and goals. Myriad, a countless or extremely great number. Abundance, multitude, plethora. C. What are the benefits of having a myriad of online learning platforms? The myriad of online platforms provides an abundance of resources for learners globally. This multitude of options caters to diverse needs. A single topic may have a plethora of videos, courses, and forums. Such a sea of knowledge democratizes education and allows self-paced, personalized learning for all. Negligible, so small or unimportant that it can be ignored. Trivial, insignificant, minor, inconsequential. Do you think missing one class is negligible in academic performance? While one missed class may seem negligible, consistent absences add up. A single trivial event might not harm overall understanding, but frequent absences become problematic. Even seemingly insignificant lessons may contain minor insights that build bigger ideas. So, what seems inconsequential can become significant over time. Nostalgia, a sentimental longing for the past. Reminiscence, sentimentality. Homesickness, longing. Why do people often feel nostalgia for their childhood? Childhood often evokes nostalgia because it's tied to carefree joy. The reminiscence of simple routines, familiar sounds, and warm family moments creates deep sentimentality. Some feel homesickness for places that no longer exist. This emotional longing reminds us of how fast time passes and how precious those memories are. Nuance, a subtle difference in meaning, opinion, or expression. Subtlety, shade, distinction, variation. Why is it important to understand nuances in communication? Nuance is essential in communication because even slight subtleties can change the message's intent. A shade of sarcasm may shift a compliment into criticism. Distinctions in tone or wording affect interpretation. Recognizing variation in body language or voice ensures more accurate understanding in both personal and professional contexts. Numerous, existing in large quantity. Countless, many, abundant, innumerable. Why do people pursue numerous hobbies these days? People today pursue numerous hobbies due to the abundance of free time and online exposure. Countless platforms offer new activities to explore. With many resources available, finding suitable interests is easier. This leads to abundant opportunities for creativity. In fact, the options are practically innumerable for any age group. Nurture, to care for and encourage development. Cultivate, support, foster, encourage. Do you think it's more important to nurture talent or intelligence? I think nurturing both is essential, but talent often needs more careful attention. You can cultivate a skill through practice, while intelligence may be innate. Providing support builds confidence. Schools and families that foster abilities early on encourage students to fully realize their strengths and creative potential. Obituary, a notice of someone's death, often with a short biography. Death notice, eulogy, memorial, tribute. How do obituaries reflect cultural attitudes toward death? Obituaries often reflect societal values around remembrance. In some cultures, a death notice is brief, while others write elaborate tributes. These eulogies honor a person's impact, and memorials may highlight family or social achievements. Such a tribute helps process loss and preserves legacy through written recognition. Obligation, a duty or commitment, especially legally or morally. Responsibility, duty, commitment, requirement. Do you think young people feel obligated to help their families? In many cultures, young people feel a deep obligation to support family. This responsibility often stems from tradition and emotional ties. They recognize their duty not just financially, but emotionally too. This sense of commitment encourages them to fulfill every requirement necessary to provide care and stability at home. Obsolete, no longer useful or in use. Outdated, old-fashioned, antiquated, redundant. Why do some people still use obsolete technology? Some individuals continue using obsolete tech out of familiarity or nostalgia. Although outdated, these tools often feel more reliable. For example, old-fashioned typewriters have a nostalgic charm. Others keep antiquated gadgets because they serve a purpose. However, most become redundant as newer models improve efficiency and accessibility. Panacea, a solution for all problems or difficulties. Cure-all, universal remedy. Fix-all, magic bullet. Do you think technology is a panacea for modern problems? Technology is powerful, but not a panacea. It's not a cure-all, as social and emotional issues persist despite innovation. While it's often seen as a universal remedy, deeper problems require more than a digital fix-all. Thinking of it as a magic bullet overlooks the importance of human values and sustainable action. Paradoxical, seemingly self-contradictory, but potentially true. Contradictory, inconsistent, ironical, conflicting. Can you give an example of something paradoxical in education? One paradoxical thing about education is how learning online can both increase and decrease understanding. It's contradictory. Students access global resources yet become distracted. This inconsistency can undermine focus. The experience can be ironical too, where more tools sometimes reduce real engagement. These conflicting outcomes reflect modern realities. Parallel, similar or corresponding in a comparable way. Equivalent, comparable, aligned, analogous. Can you draw any parallels between ancient and modern societies? There are strong parallels between ancient and modern societies. Many of their challenges, like wealth inequality, are equivalent. Social structures are comparable, though modern ones are more complex. Moral values often remain aligned despite the time gap. These analogous traits reveal how history continues to shape present-day life. Paramount, more important than anything else. Crucial, supreme, vital, overriding. What do you think is of paramount importance in a healthy lifestyle? Consistency is of paramount importance in a healthy lifestyle. Daily habits like exercise are crucial for long-term wellness. Nutrition plays a supreme role too. Sleep and mental health are equally vital. However, the overriding factor is balance. Without it, even good habits can become unsustainable or counterproductive. Partisan, strongly supporting a particular cause or group. Biased, supporter, devoted. Sectarian, how can partisan views affect media reporting? Partisan views often lead to biased journalism. A supporter of one side may ignore the facts. Reporters deeply devoted to ideologies sometimes lack objectivity. Sectarian narratives emerge when the media favors specific groups. This weakens public trust and makes it harder for readers to form balanced opinions. Paucity, the presence of something in very small amounts. Scarcity, shortage, lack, deficiency. How does a paucity of resources affect rural communities? Rural areas often suffer from a paucity of healthcare and education services. This scarcity limits development opportunities. A constant shortage of doctors or teachers leaves residents at a disadvantage. The lack of modern infrastructure and job options further contributes to the deficiency in rural progress and well-being. Perception, the way something is understood or interpreted. Interpretation, viewpoint, awareness, insight. Why is public perception important in social media marketing? Public perception shapes how brands are received. A good interpretation of values can attract customers. Marketers must understand public viewpoint and tailor messages carefully. Strong awareness of trends brings insight into what audiences want. In short, managing perception is key to maintaining loyalty and trust in a digital era. Perfunctory, done with minimal effort or reflection, lacking interest or enthusiasm. Mechanical, indifferent, superficial, hasty. Have you ever done a task in a perfunctory way? Yes, during high school, I once completed a group assignment in a perfunctory manner. I gave it only mechanical effort and didn't engage meaningfully. My indifferent attitude stemmed from boredom. The result was a superficial presentation done in a hasty fashion, which I regretted after realizing it reflected poorly on me. Permeate, to spread or diffuse through something, especially gradually. Penetrate, infuse, infiltrate, saturate. How do new trends permeate modern culture? Trends often permeate society through social media. They penetrate conversations online and gradually infuse our habits. Before we know it, certain styles infiltrate advertising and even formal events. Eventually, they saturate every aspect of culture, from the language we use to the way we express ourselves creatively. Perseverance, continued effort despite difficulty or opposition, determination, persistence, tenacity, endurance. Why is perseverance important in personal development? Perseverance shapes long-term success. With determination, you stay focused on goals. Persistence helps you overcome challenges. Tenacity builds resilience when facing repeated failures, and endurance gives you the strength to carry on when motivation fades. Without perseverance, growth often halts when adversity arises.
Plethora. An excessive or large number of something. Abundance. Profusion. Excess. Overload. Is having a plethora of choices always a good thing? Not always. While a plethora of options offers abundance, it can also lead to decision fatigue. This profusion of choices may feel overwhelming. Sometimes, the excess actually hinders satisfaction because we second-guess our decisions. An overload of options doesn't necessarily equal better outcomes or happiness. Pragmatic. Dealing with things sensibly and realistically. Practical. Realistic. Rational. Sensible. Do you consider yourself a pragmatic person? Yes, I try to be pragmatic in decision-making. I weigh outcomes in a practical way, rather than being overly idealistic. My realistic nature helps me assess risks. I prefer rational strategies and sensible solutions to problems. It helps me stay calm and focused even in stressful or unpredictable situations. Precarious. Not securely held or in a stable position. Uncertain. Unstable. Risky. Insecure. Unreliable. What are the challenges of living in a precarious financial situation? Living in a precarious financial condition brings constant stress. The unstable income makes budgeting difficult. Every purchase feels risky, and people grow emotionally insecure. The fear of unexpected expenses in such an unreliable setup makes saving or planning for the future incredibly challenging. Prevalent. Widespread in a particular time or place. Common. Frequent. Widespread. Rampant. Why is social media so prevalent among teenagers today? Social media is prevalent due to its accessibility and social relevance. It's common for teens to use it for connection. With frequent updates and viral content, it becomes widespread in their routines. Its rampant influence on trends, identity, and communication makes it nearly unavoidable in teenage life today. Procrastinate. To delay or postpone tasks unnecessarily. Postpone. Stall. Defer. Delay. Why do some people constantly procrastinate? Many people procrastinate because they fear failure or feel overwhelmed. They postpone tasks to avoid discomfort. Some mentally stall as a form of self-sabotage. Others defer due to a lack of structure or motivation. This pattern to delay goals may offer temporary relief but often results in guilt and missed opportunities. Profligate. Wastefully extravagant, recklessly spending resources. Wasteful. Extravagant. Lavish. Squandering. What are the dangers of living a profligate lifestyle? A profligate lifestyle often leads to financial ruin. People become wasteful in their spending, ignoring long-term consequences. Extravagant habits like buying luxury goods impulsively reflect poor planning. Lavish purchases may impress others briefly, but constant squandering can deplete savings and harm future stability. Profound. Very deep, meaningful, or intense. Deep. Insightful. Thought-provoking. Meaningful. Can a film or book have a profound impact on someone? Absolutely. A truly profound story leaves a deep emotional mark. It may offer insightful life lessons that stay with the audience for years. Thought-provoking plots can challenge beliefs. A meaningful message delivered through storytelling becomes more memorable than any lecture or textbook, making a lasting impression. Prolific. producing a large amount of work, results, or offspring. Productive, creative, abundant, fruitful. Do you think being prolific is a trait all successful people share? I believe that most successful individuals are prolific in their fields. Whether they're artists or entrepreneurs, being productive allows for steady progress. A creative mindset enables constant innovation. Their abundant output leads to more opportunities, and a fruitful work ethic ensures they stay ahead in a competitive environment. Propensity. A natural tendency to behave in a certain way. Inclination. Tendency. Disposition. Predisposition. Do people have a natural propensity for specific types of work? Yes, I think people often show a natural propensity toward certain careers. For instance, someone with an inclination for numbers may enjoy finance. Others have a tendency toward caring roles. Their emotional disposition shapes these choices. Even a genetic predisposition can influence whether one becomes artistic or analytical. Rational. Based on logic and reason. Logical. Reasonable. Analytical. Coherent. Why is it important to remain rational in emotional situations? Staying rational during emotional moments helps you think clearly. A logical approach prevents impulsive decisions. Reasonable behavior reduces conflict. When you stay analytical, you're better at problem solving. Maintaining a coherent mindset ensures that your actions align with long-term goals rather than fleeting emotions. Redundant. No longer needed or useful. Unnecessary. Superfluous. Excess. Repetitive. Why do companies sometimes make roles redundant even during profits? Sometimes companies restructure to stay efficient. If roles are deemed redundant, they may be seen as unnecessary for future plans. Superfluous positions increase costs. Even in profitable times, reducing excess layers can optimize performance. Repetitive tasks may also be automated, making them less relevant in modern workflows. Rejuvenate. To make someone or something feel younger or fresher. Revive. Refresh. Renew. Restore. What activities help people rejuvenate after a stressful week? People often rejuvenate through relaxation or hobbies. A weekend getaway can revive mental energy. Some refresh themselves through nature walks. Others feel renewed after a creative session. Whatever the activity, the goal is to restore balance and return to daily life with a clearer and more focused state of mind. Relentless. Never-ending or showing no signs of stopping. Unyielding. Persistent. Ruthless. Tireless. Can being relentless be a good thing in achieving goals? Yes, relentless effort often leads to success. Unyielding ambition pushes people to keep going. Persistent individuals overcome repeated setbacks. Though sometimes seen as ruthless, their drive is admirable. A tireless attitude ensures they maintain progress even when motivation is low or challenges become overwhelming. Reluctant. Unwilling or hesitant to do something. Hesitant. Unenthusiastic. Disinclined. Averse. Why are people sometimes reluctant to change careers? Changing careers can be daunting, making people reluctant. Many feel hesitant due to fear of the unknown. They may be unenthusiastic about retraining or starting fresh. Some are disinclined because of financial risks. Others feel averse to stepping outside their comfort zones, even if better opportunities await. Resilient. Able to recover quickly from difficulties. Tough. Strong. Adaptable. Enduring. Why is resilience important in modern life? Resilience helps people bounce back from failure. Life today demands that we stay tough when facing setbacks. Strong willpower allows us to adapt to rapid change. Being adaptable is especially important in dynamic workplaces. Those who are enduring in tough times usually come out wiser, more grounded, and mentally stronger. Safeguard. To protect or preserve something from harm. Defend. Shield. Secure. Preserve. How can governments safeguard citizens' privacy in the digital age? Governments should safeguard privacy through strict data laws. These policies defend users against misuse. Regulations must shield people from surveillance and ensure platforms secure personal details. Public data should be preserved with transparency and care, so citizens trust how their information is managed. Sagacious. Showing keen mental judgment, wise. Wise. Perceptive. Insightful. Judicious. What qualities make someone a sagacious leader? A sagacious leader is more than just intelligent, they're wise and make perceptive decisions. Their insightful nature allows them to understand both people and strategy. They're judicious with risks, never rushing decisions. These qualities earn respect and often lead to long-term success in guiding teams or organizations. Salient. Most noticeable or important. Prominent. Striking. Outstanding. Remarkable. What do you think is the most salient issue in your country today? One of the most salient issues in my country is climate change. Its prominent effects can be seen in rising temperatures and floods. What makes it striking is how it affects every sector, from agriculture to urban planning. The most outstanding concern is lack of policy action, which makes the consequences even more remarkable.
Salvage. To rescue or save something from being lost or destroyed. Recover. Retrieve. Reclaim. Rescue. Can you think of a moment when you had to salvage a difficult situation? Yes, once I forgot to back up my research paper, and my laptop crashed. I managed to salvage the file by recovering an old draft from email. Then, I retrieved references and reclaimed my writing structure. That quick response helped me rescue the assignment just in time for submission. It was a close call but a valuable lesson. Solitary. Done or existing alone. Alone. Isolated. Single. Secluded. Do you enjoy solitary activities like reading or hiking? Absolutely. I find solitary activities quite refreshing. Reading alone gives me space to think deeply. Hiking in isolated trails offers peace and beauty. Being single and undisturbed in nature feels fulfilling. A few hours in a secluded place, away from distractions, always helps recharge my energy and sharpen my focus. Somber. Dark or dull in tone, serious or gloomy. Gloomy. Dismal. Sullen. Melancholy. Have you ever been in a somber mood, and what triggered it? Yes, I felt quite somber after a close friend moved abroad. The day was gloomy, and saying goodbye was dismal. I became sullen for days, missing our regular chats. That melancholy feeling reminded me how important human connection is, and how even joyful events can come with an emotional toll when change is involved. Specimen. A single part taken as an example of a whole. Sample. Example. Model. Instance. Have you ever collected any interesting specimens? Yes, during my biology course, I collected leaf specimens from different environments. Each sample revealed structural differences. These examples helped us understand plant adaptation better. One model, in particular, showed how light exposure shaped leaf thickness. It was a great instance of nature's subtle engineering. Sporadic. Occurring at irregular intervals or only in a few places. Irregular. Occasional. Scattered. Infrequent. How do you stay productive despite sporadic distractions at home? I deal with sporadic distractions by setting timers. Since interruptions tend to be irregular, I work in focused sprints. Occasional breaks also help. Although background noise may be scattered, I use headphones to stay centered. Even during infrequent disruptions, staying calm and adaptive helps maintain progress throughout the day. Staple. A basic or essential item, especially food. Necessity. Essential. Mainstay. Fundamental. What are some staple foods in your country, and why are they popular? In my country, rice is a staple food. It's a necessity in almost every household meal. This essential grain is versatile and pairs with various dishes. It's also a cultural mainstay, deeply embedded in tradition. As a fundamental part of our cuisine, rice brings both sustenance and a shared sense of identity.
Stereotypical. Relating to a widely held and oversimplified idea of a person or thing. Conventional. Predictable. Oversimplified. Cliched. Do you think movies often promote stereotypical images of people? Yes, many films rely on stereotypical portrayals. Characters often follow conventional roles like the smart nerd or the clumsy friend. These predictable tropes may seem harmless, but they reinforce oversimplified views. While entertaining, such cliched depictions fail to represent real diversity in personality and experience. Subjugate. To bring under control or domination, often by force. Conquer. Dominate. Suppress. Overpower. How does history teach us about the consequences of trying to subjugate others? History is filled with lessons about the dangers of subjugating others. Empires that tried to conquer foreign lands often faced resistance. Attempts to dominate cultures usually backfired. Even when suppression seemed successful, people eventually reclaimed freedom. Overpowering others never guarantees peace, it usually fuels rebellion instead. Subsidize. To financially support someone or something, usually through government funds. Fund. Support. Sponsor. Finance. Should governments subsidize public transportation more heavily? Yes, I think subsidizing public transport is essential. When governments fund transit systems, it boosts affordability. Such support encourages eco-friendly commuting. If they sponsor expansion and improvements, ridership grows. By helping finance these services, governments also reduce traffic, pollution, and economic inequality. Substantiate. To provide evidence or proof for a claim. Prove. Validate. Confirm. Authenticate. Why is it important to substantiate your opinions in debates? In debates, it's crucial to substantiate your arguments with facts. When you prove your position using credible evidence, you gain trust. Validating your views with data also strengthens your message. If you can confirm your points with examples or statistics, and authentically cite sources, you'll be far more persuasive. Succinct. Expressed clearly and briefly. Concise. Brief. Terse. Compact. Do you prefer people who speak in a succinct manner? Yes, I really value succinct communication. When someone is concise, they're easier to follow. Brief responses show clarity of thought. Terse writing might seem blunt, but it avoids confusion. In work and exams, being compact yet expressive can leave a much stronger impression than long, rambling explanations. Surplus. An amount that is more than needed. Excess. Extra. Overflow. Oversupply. What can governments do with a budget surplus? With a surplus, governments can reduce debt or invest in public services. This excess revenue allows for infrastructure upgrades. Extra funds might also be used for education or healthcare. When there's an overflow of resources, it's wise to address long-term needs rather than letting an oversupply sit unused. Surrogate. A substitute, especially a person taking the place of another. Proxy. Stand-in. Replacement. Alternate. What are the advantages and risks of surrogate parenting? Surrogate parenting offers hope to couples who can't conceive. A surrogate acts as a proxy for the biological mother. While this stand-in role brings joy to many families, issues can arise if legal terms are unclear. Choosing a trusted replacement and discussing expectations with the alternate parent is key to avoiding complications. Surveillance. Close observation or monitoring of behavior or activity. Monitoring. Supervision. Scrutiny. Observation. Should surveillance in public places be increased for safety? Increased surveillance can enhance public safety. Constant monitoring deters crime. Some argue too much supervision invades privacy, but close scrutiny of high-risk zones is essential. Observation systems, like CCTV, help authorities act quickly during emergencies. It's about finding a balance between freedom and protection. Susceptible. Likely to be influenced or harmed by something. Vulnerable. Prone. Sensitive. Open. Why are young people more susceptible to peer pressure? Young people are more susceptible due to their desire for social acceptance. They're vulnerable to trends and judgment. Many are prone to copying peers without questioning consequences. Since they're emotionally sensitive and open to external influence, it's easy for them to adopt risky behavior just to fit in. Symbiotic. A mutually beneficial relationship between different entities. Interdependent. Cooperative. Reciprocal. Complementary. Can you think of a symbiotic relationship in your life? Yes, my friendship with a colleague is symbiotic. We're interdependent, we learn from each other. Our cooperative efforts make teamwork easier. It's a reciprocal bond. When I help him with research, he supports me with presentations. Our complementary strengths create balance and mutual success at work. Tenacious. Persistent and determined. Persistent. Resolute. Stubborn. Relentless. How important is being tenacious in achieving long-term goals? Tenacity is vital for long-term success. Being persistent keeps you moving despite setbacks. A resolute mindset fuels ambition. While stubbornness may seem negative, in moderation it helps you stay focused. Relentless effort, paired with reflection, often turns distant dreams into tangible achievements over time. Tentative. Uncertain or subject to change. Hesitant. Unconfirmed. Unsettled. Provisional. Do people prefer making tentative plans or fixed ones? Many people make tentative plans to stay flexible. With modern life being unpredictable, hesitant scheduling helps manage unexpected changes. Unconfirmed trips or meetings leave room for adjustment. While some dislike unsettled plans, others appreciate provisional arrangements until details become clearer or more convenient. Threshold. The beginning point or a limit that must be crossed. Entry. Brink. Border. Verge. How do people respond when they reach the threshold of stress? Reaching the stress threshold often triggers major changes. At that entry point into burnout, people either slow down or seek help. On the brink of exhaustion, emotions heighten. Some recognize they're at the border of a breakdown and take action. Others ignore the verge, risking health and productivity in the long run. Thrive. To grow or develop successfully. Flourish. Succeed. Prosper. Bloom. What makes a person thrive in a competitive environment? To thrive in a competitive world, mindset matters most. People who flourish are driven but balanced. They succeed because they embrace challenges. Those who prosper value collaboration and adaptability. Their skills bloom when exposed to new ideas, enabling them to rise even under intense pressure or change. Trend. A general direction in which something is developing or changing. Pattern. Movement. Fashion. Tendency. What is one current trend among young people in your country? One noticeable trend among youth today is minimalist fashion. This pattern has replaced flashy styles with simplicity. The movement towards neutral tones and clean lines feels refreshing. It's more than a fashion change, it reflects a broader tendency toward mindfulness and environmental awareness among this generation. Trigger. To cause something to start. Cause. Spark. Set off. Initiate. What can trigger stress in modern life? Many aspects of daily life can trigger stress. Financial concerns often cause anxiety, while social media can spark insecurities. Even minor disruptions can set off a chain of emotional responses. Deadlines and noise pollution also initiate feelings of tension, especially in fast-paced urban environments. Turmoil. A state of great disturbance or confusion. Chaos. Disorder. Havoc. Uproar. Have you ever experienced a time of personal turmoil? During the pandemic, I went through emotional turmoil. There was chaos everywhere, from job loss to health concerns. The uncertainty created personal disorder and even internal havoc. The uproar in the news and at home made it difficult to focus, but I learned how to adapt and find calm amidst the storm. Ubiquitous. Present, appearing, or found everywhere. Pervasive. Widespread. Omnipresent. Universal. Why is technology considered ubiquitous today? Technology is ubiquitous because it's woven into every part of our lives. Smartphones are pervasive, from homes to classrooms. Internet access is so widespread that it feels almost omnipresent. These tools have become universal across social, academic, and professional spaces, making them inescapable in daily routines. Unpredictable. Not able to be foreseen or expected. Erratic. Uncertain. Volatile. Inconsistent. Do you enjoy unpredictable experiences? Honestly, unpredictable events can be exciting but stressful. I do enjoy erratic travel plans or surprises. However, too much uncertainty can feel overwhelming. Life's volatile twists, while thrilling, often disrupt routines. Inconsistent schedules challenge my focus, so I prefer spontaneity in small doses. Vapid. Lacking liveliness, taste, or interest. Dull. Boring. Insipid. Flat. Do you think some television shows today are vapid? Yes, many shows feel vapid these days. Their plots are dull and predictable. Characters often seem boring with no depth. Even the humor can be insipid and forced. When a series is flat in both acting and storyline, it fails to spark any emotional connection with the audience. Veto. A constitutional right to reject a decision or proposal. Reject. Refuse. Overrule. Dismiss. Should world leaders have the power to veto global initiatives? The power to veto should be used carefully. While leaders must be able to reject harmful proposals, refusing helpful initiatives can block progress. Overruling global cooperation sometimes seems unfair. If used to dismiss minor disagreements, vetoes can stall meaningful solutions to pressing issues like climate change. Viable. Capable of working successfully, feasible. Workable. Practical. Doable. Achievable. What makes a business idea viable in today's market? A viable business plan is one that's both innovative and workable. It should solve real problems in a practical way. A startup must prove the idea is doable with current resources. Success becomes achievable when there's a clear demand and an efficient strategy to meet it. Vigilant. Keeping careful watch for possible danger or difficulties. Watchful. Alert. Cautious. Attentive. Why must online users remain vigilant today? Online users must be vigilant to avoid scams and data theft. Being watchful of suspicious links is essential. Staying alert to fake news and phishing attempts protects privacy. A cautious attitude ensures safer browsing, and attentive behavior prevents falling victim to digital traps or misinformation. Volatile. Liable to change rapidly and unpredictably, especially for the worse. Unstable. Explosive. Temperamental. Inconsistent. What challenges come with working in a volatile environment? In volatile work environments, change happens quickly. Unstable workflows disrupt productivity. Explosive decision-making leads to confusion, while temperamental leadership creates tension. The inconsistency makes it hard to plan ahead, and employees often feel uncertain about long-term goals or security. Voracious. Having an eager or insatiable appetite for something. Insatiable. Eager. Ravenous. Greedy. Have you ever had a voracious passion for something? Absolutely, I once had a voracious passion for learning languages. My insatiable curiosity drove me to study daily. I was eager to master vocabulary and grammar. Like a ravenous reader, I devoured textbooks. My greedy enthusiasm for fluency helped me progress quickly and enjoy the process along the way. Vulnerable. Exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed. Defenseless. Exposed. Weak. Susceptible. Why do some people feel vulnerable when sharing personal stories? Sharing personal stories can make people feel vulnerable because they reveal emotional truths. Being defenseless in front of others requires courage. Some fear being exposed to judgment. Others feel weak remembering past pain. This susceptibility often leads to deeper human connection, but it also invites risk and misunderstanding.